Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to WHTC's Talk of the Town for this Tuesday, August 25th. I'm Gary Stevens. Patty Vandenberg will be with us at the bottom of the hour with what's new around Holland. We'll be open line after the 11 o'clock news. But on Tuesday mornings between 10 and 11, we are very pleased to be joined by the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen from DeBruyn Seed in Zeeland, Washington and Elm, to answer your yard and garden questions, as well as questions about animals that you don't want on your property, animals that you do want on your property, and birds and other fun things as well. Good morning again, Jan.
Good morning.
We talked a lot during WHTC's morning news and the garden party about bugs and birds.
Yeah.
And we can talk more about that if you wish. But let's tie up a couple of loose ends for our new audience about some of the things we've been discussing, extending over. First of all, Alice does not live here anymore. She has a new home.
Yes, she has found a home. So we we aren't looking for a home for Alice anymore. So, but there are lots. If you want a little companion, there's plenty of them out there at the Humane Society and places like Best Pals. So, go there first.
Second, tying up the loose ends is the effort to get supplies for island dogs and save a gato in Puerto Rico. Still, you can bring it over.
Yes, I mean they get hit by every hurricane out in the Atlantic. Seems to have to go over Puerto Rico. They just got drenched. Their soils are saturated, so they're probably flooded out there right now. So they really do need help. So I am saving and collecting and sending down anything for dogs and cats. This includes medications. I don't care. It can be expired. If your dog or cat didn't use all of their medications, I'll take it. I'll send anything down there. Clean out your cupboards. I will take it. Gently used toys, collars, treats, whatever, clean towels. I'll take that. Just about anything. Yes.
Now, the other loose end we'll tie up. By the way, if you have a question about yard and garden with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen, you can step in at 395-1450, 395-1450. Jan is planning the pet calendar from DeBruyn's for 2021. And you, out in Radio Land, yes, they still call it Radio Land, can still... can be a part of this calendar, or shall we say your pet can be part of the calendar.
Pets can be part of this calendar, yes. Email me a picture at DeBruynSeed@gmail.com. I'll be glad to save it, put it in the calendar. I try to get everyone's pets in at least twice, a nice size picture and with your name on it, so everybody knows it's your pet. It's always a fun calendar. It's great to see all these little pets. Doesn't just have to be dogs or cats. We've done chickens, we've done goldfish, we've done goats, whatever. If it's your pet, I will put it in.
But of course, you gotta, again, email DeBruynSeed@gmail.com with the submissions.
Yes,
don't come in. I got a photo. Well, you can scan it, but we don't need a photo of a photo.
Yes.
That don't work too well.
That doesn't work too well. I can, if you've got the original photo, I can scan it in here and it looks okay. But a photo of a photo or, doesn't work out well. So,
yeah. And for those of you who still have the old fashioned cameras with the rolls and have it develop and you got the negatives. No, negatives aren't going to work. You cannot process the negatives.
I can't do anything with negatives, but I'll give you your original back. I'm not going to keep it. I just want to scan it in and then I'll give it back to you.
395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yeah, how much are the calendars and where can you pick them up at when they're done?
The calendars are at DeBruyn Seed. They should be done around the 1st of November. And our calendars are usually, it's usually a donation to Island Dogs or Save a Gato, whatever you think you want to give them, and we give you a calendar.
All righty.
All right. Appreciate the call. Thank you. 395-1450, 395-1450. One other loose end from earlier, a couple of weeks ago. It's those seeds, those Chinese seeds.
Yes, and people are still getting them in the mail. You get a package and it's says China Post on it. You haven't ordered it. It's got seeds, some bizarre looking seeds in these things. I got one, said earrings on the outside. Definitely were not earrings. Those were seeds inside. Don't really know why they're sending it to certain people. I don't know why I got one, that's for sure. But the U.S. Department of Agriculture really wants to see them, see what kind they are, make sure that they aren't trying to get in some sort of noxious weed or some insect eggs that we don't want. So send them to the USDA over in Detroit, and it's at 11200 Metro Airport Center Drive, Suite 140 in Romulus, Michigan, 48174. And you can just call them up, 734-942-9005. And David will help you. He's extremely helpful. He'll help you get your package over to them. They really, really do want them, and the packaging material as well as the seeds that came in it. Don't put them in the ground, folks.
Yeah, don't try to satisfy your curiosity that way. Good morning.
Yeah.
You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. It was just brought to my attention that we have a beehive that's getting into our wall, our exterior wall, and we checked, like computer and stuff like that. Apparently, we have to rip the wall apart. Is there any way else to get the bees out of the wall without ripping it apart?
Well, now, do you see the holes where they're going in?
Yes, I know exactly where they're going in. So,
well, actually, what you can do, those are usually carpenter bees, and they're actually good for wild pollination. So they are useful. Besides, unfortunately, they like to get into usually unpainted wood, but let them go in and out. Come fall weather, they will die.
okay.
But they're putting their little larvae in there. You can go around, if you know where the hole is, and go around and spray or put some 7 dust around the hole. They'll carry that dust in there and kill the little babies in there. Or at evening, don't try this during the day, that spray that has the foam that actually will fill in cracks, that will kill them in there. What they do is they make little kind of sections where they lay an egg in each section, and that's their little larvae. So spray that stuff in there to kill those little guys. We don't want that. And then once there's no more activity there this fall, you need to cover up the hole, paint the area, so they don't come back again. They don't live forever in the wall, so don't worry about that.
Okay, I was kind of hoping to drive them out and not kill them, but I guess that's not an option. So,
no, not once they get inside your house, inside that wood there. No, unfortunate. They need to be out, making their nests in trees, not in houses. So,
all right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. Can somebody like that caller maybe get a hold of our friends Jack Lamb and Don Lamb, I should say, and Jack Hartman, the beekeepers? Could they help in that regard?
Not really. They do not want wild bees. They want honeybees. So,
okay.
They really don't want these guys.
Well, I was asking because you said they're carpenter bees. They're good for pollination.
Yeah, and they do wild pollination, but they aren't very, they can be kind of aggressive at this time of the year. So Nobody really wants to deal with them too much right now, but they will die off with the fall. So let's, we're getting there. We're in August. I don't see the cool weather coming, but hopefully it will at one point in time.
395-1450, 395-1450. If you have a question for the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen, she'll be happy to take it. And that leads to an issue we discussed a little bit on morning news, Jan, and I want to bring it back up for our Talk of the Town listeners, dealing with wasps. That has been an issue that a lot of customers have come up to you and other people at DeBruyn Seed saying, what can we do about the wasps?
Yeah, it's just within the past, 2 or 3 days, the wasps have just gone crazy. They are now the paper wasps are making their nests, getting babies. Once they start doing that, they're very territorial and they're very aggressive. Yellow jackets are always aggressive. Hornets are very, very aggressive. Thankfully, they a lot of times live up in a tree, but remember, they can also live in a hole in the ground. This is the time they are guarding their nests because they've got young there, and they are super aggressive. I mean, if you just walk up to them and you don't even know that they're there, they will sting you. So do be really careful. I know I have 2 hornet holes in my yard that you can't go near. You can get rid of them. In the evening, sunset, you can go out there with some 7, and you got to make sure it is 7. It says carbaryl on it because they're trying to get rid of 7. Well, they are slowly getting rid of 7. Look for carbaryl. Put that all around the opening of the nest. They would carry that down into the nest with them, and they kill everybody. Probably gonna have to do that a couple of nights in a row, but you can get that under control. And you do need to get them under control in the ground, because if you're mowing the lawn, they will kill you. They're terrible.
Yeah, wasps are not fun. We'll stay with the bugs for a couple of moments. We're getting a little bit of a break from the mosquitoes, but with the dry weather, Jan, the ants are starting to come up big time.
Even by my house, my gosh, in the past couple of weeks, ants are just everywhere. They are in the cracks everywhere, in my lawn, on my porch, everywhere I look, the ants are there. It's dry. They are busy working because they can tunnel like crazy in this weather. So that's what they're doing. So if you've got a yard full of ants, the home defense works extremely well. After you put that down, though, you have to water it in. It's a granule. Got to water it in. I can't guarantee we're going to have rain, but you can get out there and sprinkle it in, or go around your house, because I'm sure it's just a matter of time before they start coming in my house. So go around your house. I got to do it this weekend again. Do that perimeter walk around your house with the home defense, and go from the house out 4 feet, and then go up on the foundation, go around windows and doors, and you should keep those little guys from marching in.
Yeah, we don't need to have that kid song when the ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah.
I hate that. I hate
Good
when
morning.
you see a line of them.
Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yeah, well, we have those bees. Do you know what kind they are? They're small.
Small bees.
Small bees?
Small ones. In the ground. They're in the ground. But, see, we have, my husband found them because huge hole in our backyard in the ground, because the skunks are out looking for I guess they eat the honeycomb.
Oh, yeah, they could.
So,
yep.
Yeah, that's why we have a big, huge hole. And what did you say to use on those?
7, SEVIN.
7. Is that a spray or?
That is a granular or a dust that you have to put around the outside of the hole. And you can even put it inside, but the bees will, when they land, will carry it inside.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that then. They're nasty.
Yeah, they are not nice.
So, okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much for the
you.
call. 395-1450, 395-1450. Well, Jan, it's that time of the program, I'm afraid. Or, well, actually, it's our time before we get to that time of the program to take another call.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. This is Sarah Simmons, and
Yes,
I
Sarah.
have taken care of honeybees for 35 years in my past, but I have come across a Facebook group that's really sweet. It's called the Bartlett Bee Whisperers. They're out of Memphis, Tennessee. Bartlett is spelled just like the pear, and the photos and videos that they have of removing honeybees are just fascinating to watch. So I really recommend that Facebook group.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all.
All
And
right.
Okay.
there
Thanks,
is
Sarah.
some posts too. A lot of the bees in houses can be honeybees, but if they're between walls, it's basically impossible unless you do it full time to remove them.
Yeah.
But you're right. Carpenter bees, ground bees, there's so many different kinds of bees that basically impossible to separate them all.
Yeah. Sometimes if they're a nuisance, you just got to get rid of them.
Absolutely. You're correct. Anyway, have a great day and a wonderful week.
I
Bye-bye.
thank you
Yes,
very
you
much
too.
for the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. Were you checking for a nuisance that's usually orange and fluffy and runs around?
Yeah, I think he's hiding in a paper bag right behind me right now.
I know. They're so easy to entertain, and it keeps the toy costs down.
Down.
Bags, boxes, they're just so fascinated. Some kitties, all you need is one of those little laser lights, and they'll go pounce on it as well.
Oh, he loves that too. Oh, yeah.
All right. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen. Hello, you're on the air. And goodbye, you're off the air. 395-1450, 395-1450. All right, let's do what we normally do once a week. Take care of some of the top issues that have come up at DeBruyn Seed, Washington and Elm in downtown Zeeland. Sometimes they are entertaining, other times they are just irritating. But we try to spotlight some of the things that have caused issues. But before we get to that, we do have more callers that want to talk to you. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yeah, I instead of in the morning waking up to the sound of mourning doves, we wake up to the squabble of crows, or if you want to be poetic, ravens. Can anything be done about them? Are they an endangered species?
Well, most birds are considered songbirds, and it is a felony to do anything to them. So, unfortunately, not a lot you can do. Discourage them. A big dog usually helps.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I really don't know what to do. They kind of congregate for a little bit and then they go away. So sometimes it's just just a waiting game before they're gone.
Mm-hmm. I know out at the shed out in Lenox, with the Boston Symphony, they put up balloon or blow up owls, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
know that on a tree down here, it looked like it was a hawk or something was sitting on a limb, and that got them all excited. I wonder if there's any birds of prey for them that would drive them away.
Most of the hawks around here aren't going to touch a crow because they're usually not just one crow. It's normally many, and they can be ganged up. So that probably you could, maybe one of those balloons that looks like an eye or something like that that's waving in the wind. Maybe that might help too. But it's just one of those things of nature. Sometimes we have to take all of nature, not just the parts that we like.
Right. Well, I think I'm going to somehow get them to go over to your neighborhood.
That's fine. They can
Thank
come
you.
into my backyard.
All right. Appreciate the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. No, that the crows and the ravens are not among the top nuisance categories. By the way, if you heard something in the background during Jan's answer, yes, Mr. Butternut had the ears up and is now back being mobile. Ambulatory is a better way of putting it. 395-1450. We talked about the ants. We've talked about the wasps. Let's talk about the grass. First of all, the Bermuda grass, that's your weed of the week.
Yeah, it's loving this weather yet. Normally kind of dying down now, but it's still there. Bermuda grass killer with phenoxyprop is what we've got out there labeled for it. But you have to do it every like 2 weeks for months. So, I mean, it's something that you can't forget about spraying that. We have the crabgrass destroyer that has topramezone in it, which works great on crabgrass and it's labeled for crabgrass. But according to our weed book, it also works well on Bermuda grass, but it's not labeled for that on the label. So you didn't hear it here, but if you're getting pretty sick of that Bermuda grass, you might want to try some crabgrass destroyer, spray it on it and see if you can get it to turn white, because that's what it makes. It takes the chlorophyll out and it should do something for you.
Good morning. You're on the line with the master gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. I have a ever-bearing strawberry plant, hanging plant that I planted in the year, and it made some really nice flowers and a few strawberries, but they kind of got like deformed after they formed, and it still looks semi-healthy. It's still got white flowers on it. Is it just too stressed from the heat this summer? Is it still going to? Is there any possibility of it making strawberries still? Do you think, or should I just can it?
Is this in a pot or is this in the ground?
Oh, it's in a pot.
Okay, and so this is the first year it's been there?
Yep.
Yeah, usually you don't want berries to form the first year. You want it to concentrate on forming roots. And then the next year you usually go for getting the strawberries.
Okay. All right. But this is like a hanging basket that I
yeah, they're kind of fun to have. The flowers are pretty. You probably aren't going to get much more in the way of strawberries on there.
It's supposed to be an ever-bearing one, but yeah. But I mean, should I save it? Can I keep it over the winter and like bring it inside? I mean, I know
if
it's
you could plant it in the ground outside, that would be best.
Okay. Even like I could do that like soon.
I would do that anytime now. Yeah, plant it outside and give it some room around because it will grow, and that's what it's supposed to do.
Okay. All right. Does it need to have a lot of sun?
It needs sunshine, yes.
Okay. All right. I'll see if I can find a spot for it. So.
Good.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. We're going over some of the key issues that have people have come up to DeBruyn seat on Washington and Elm in downtown Zeeland and have asked Jan and Ken and the rest of the staff to get some able assistance. While Jan was answering a question, we did see the star of the show hop up into a window. So he is at his usual perch, making sure that the right people are coming into DeBruyn seed that meet Mr. Butternut's high standards. The chore of the week, dealing with winter annuals, including the annual bluegrass.
Yeah, I just had one of the guys come up here with a great big batch of annual bluegrass. Right now, the weather is making it die off. So we are having a mass die off of annual bluegrass. People are thinking that it's a fungal problem in their lawn. If you can just rake it right out and it comes right out, it's probably annual bluegrass. It's a good time of year to put a crabgrass preventer down to prevent that annual bluegrass from regerminating this fall. So put that crabgrass preventer down now in the next month so you don't get that problem again next year. So get rid of that annual bluegrass, rake it out, put the crabgrass preventer down.
Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
That's exactly what I was going to ask about. And I was debating between the crabgrass preventer and the stuff that makes it destroyer, the stuff that makes it turn white.
Oh, crabgrass
the
destroyer?
annual bluegrass.
Yeah. It will not do well. If you want to get annual bluegrass and make it turn white, then that's tenacity that you have to use, and that gets a little expensive. And right now, Mother Nature is taking care of the annual bluegrass for you, just making it turn brown and dying. So you might as well let Mother Nature take it now and just rake it out as you can.
It's pretty tough. It won't rake easily.
Oh, it should rake quite easily because usually if it is Poa Anna, it does not have much of a root system there.
Okay, they got the fuzzy heads, right?
They could. It could be just another type of grass that you just don't like too. But yeah, usually Poa Anna does not have much of a root system.
Okay, thanks.
I appreciate the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. Jan, you were talking when you were talking about dealing with the annual bluegrass, and some people thought it might be some fungal problems. Lawn fungal problems has been an issue people have been bringing up to you.
Yes, you think, okay, it was a little cooler out, so maybe we wouldn't have the lawn fungal problems, but we're seeing a lot of dollar spot and brown patch, just the beginning of some rust and, of course, powdery mildew. So all of those are occurring right now. Oh my gosh, it's just been a stellar year for all of these things. Fungicides can be put down. I prefer the granular fungicide to be put down on the lawn for these problems. You have to water it in, and it's got to get inside the plant, and that really works the best. But you got to be able to water the area.
Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Okay, I was just you were talking about those crows. I saw this on, I don't know if it was the weather station or a regular station, but there was this crow that was hitching a ride on an eagle, and he was pecking at his neck. And the eagle didn't do anything about it. He just went higher and higher until the crow couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't breathe up there, and he fell off. That was a pretty good story.
So they're not only a nuisance to people, but they're a nuisance to other birds, too.
Yeah, right. But that was pretty tricky of that eagle to know just what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I thought that was nice. I thought I'd let you know that story.
I appreciate the call. Thank you. 395-1450, 395-1450. The eagle was showing his Top Gun.
That's right.
Tom Cruise would have been so proud. One more thing about nuisance and things that are going on, and we'll sort of staying in a little bit, and it's appropriate this week since the Tigers are playing the Chicago Cubs. It's in Detroit, but it's when you talk about Chicago Cubs, you think about the friendly confines, you think about ivy at Wrigley Field. Let's keep the ivy at Wrigley Field and not have it in our
yards. Yeah, it does have a tendency. Really, if it's climbing up bricks, it will actually get into the mortar between the bricks and cause that to fail. So we don't really want that to happen too much. So do get it down off the bricks. I don't care if it's climbing up a tree, that's fine, unless it's poison ivy. But it's a good time of year to get rid of these sort of things. You need to use the shrub killer, brush and shrub killer. It's got tricloper in it. It works extremely well on those brambles, even the raspberries and blackberries that are getting out of hand. Works well on those things.
So with that, we button up our award category for this week on the WHTC Talk of the Town program with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen. And she'll compile another list of top issues when you stop by at DeBruyn Seed in Washington Elm in downtown Zeeland. Let's get one more call before our final break. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk turkey. I live by the Nature Center over here by 32nd Street, and we get turkeys in our yard about twice a week. And there's three big birds, and then there's 16 little chicks.
Oh my goodness!
This thing you ever saw, and they just follow each other all over the place. And then when the big ones move, the little ones try to catch up with them, and they just roam all over our neighborhood.
You have Thanksgiving dinner all in a package right in your backyard right now.
Yeah, but I don't think you can shoot them just like the crows. You can't shoot those either. So
no, it's not turkey season. But isn't it fun to watch all those birds?
It was. I was
neat.
Mesmerized this spring when they first came, and they've grown bigger, about a foot. They were really little before, but they just follow each other all over from yard to yard. It's really cute.
Do you see them go up in the trees too? That's kind of funny when you see a turkey up in a tree.
My daughter lives in Port Sheldon, and she has turkeys in her trees.
Yeah, that is the weirdest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she said the first time she saw it, she couldn't believe it. And I said, I never saw a turkey in a tree, so I didn't believe her. But she said, that's what happens. So.
That's what happens. I used to get turkeys all the time. Yep.
Appreciate the call. Thank you. 395-1450, 395-1450. We're talking, Jan, on August 25th. We're still technically in the dog days of summer, but in your notes, you're saying we got to start bringing in the house plants. What's going on?
Well, not necessarily bringing them inside, but if they have been in the hot sun all summer, they need to be moved to a shadier spot for a couple of weeks so they can acclimate to a little darker temperature. You can't take them right from the direct sunlight back into the house, and I don't care how sunny a window you have, it's just not going to work. So take your house plants and move them to the shadier part of your deck or whatever you've got there so they can be prepared to move in September.
Okay, in other words, do it now, or do you want to wait till Labor Day?
No, I would do it any time now. In the next couple of weeks, I would definitely move them to the shade, and then you can bring them in, before we get our killing frost in October. But they need the shade now.
And finally, let's talk about deadheading. And we're not talking about the legacy of Jerry Garcia.
No, we're not. We're talking about, those plants in our landscape bed that just don't look that good anymore. I've got some black-eyed Susans that really have seen better days, and I've got some daisies. Just go out there with the clippers, clip them, either clip the heads off or just clip them right down to the ground. Remember the all the energy is in the roots of the plant. So let's just, they're gone. We don't want to see just, dead plants there. So you can cut them back. A great time to do that. Do your morning walk around and deadhead.
If you got a question for the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen, stop by DeBruyn Seed, will you, at Washington Elm in downtown Zeeland. She's in the office Monday through Saturday. And, of course, she's back on our particular radio station this Saturday morning at 11 with the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show. And then from next Tuesday morning, a little 8:35 for the garden party on Morning News. And between 10 and 11 on the Yard and Garden Hour on Talk of the Town. Jan, as always, thank you very much for joining us today. Wish you and everybody at the store well, and we'll do this all again next Tuesday morning.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you very much. That is Jan Meeuwsen, the Master Gardener, on the WHTC Talk of the Town program.